Perfect. Okay, and we are live.
Okay, so don't say anything you don't want to regret forever.
Wow.
Welcome to another exciting Hack Days. Do we know if the audio is working? Do we do the audio?
I already checked the audio.
Okay. Test. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Nice. Powerful stuff.
Are you a big Casey Neistat fan?
I am.
So maybe we can have Casey on the show.
I love him. He's kind of like lame. Yeah. Right?
Anyway.
Like, I'm getting tired of it. But anyway.
He's just old.
Yeah, right? He's
But
like,
I'm gonna live forever until my brain dies.
me too.
Yeah.
So I
Same.
think it's okay.
But my brain's already dead. How am I living? Can you live forever if your brain is already dead?
I mean, no, because you never. Okay. I don't know.
All right, welcome to Hack Days. Hack Days, as you may or may not know, is a weekly get-together where we, meaning any one of us, come on and talk about our projects, talk about latest news. We're basically a bunch of geeks that get together and talk about geek stuff. So we usually have nothing rehearsed, nothing planned. Whoever shows up kind of drives the show. We also really love your comments and I guess anything you want to talk about. So if you have topics or you have projects you want us to talk about or that you want to share with the community, just go ahead and drop us a line on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/channel/U C. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we have a YouTube name yet, but if you search for us Hack Days on YouTube, you'll find us. We're also facebook.com/Hack Days, the number 4, and then all, ALL. So, yeah, we're at Hack Days, we're at Noisebridge, which is having a global jam day. So, what that means...
Game Jam Day.
Okay, Global Game Jam Day. Let's start off with what is Noisebridge. Noisebridge is a non-profit, volunteer-run hackerspace here in the heart of San Francisco that basically runs off of donations from people just like you and me. If you love hacking and making and basically being creative, this is a spot for you. You should definitely stop by. It's open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. to the public, and you have access to, you immediately, once you're given a tour, have access to 3D printers, laser cutters, mills, lathes, biological experimentation equipment, electronic equipment,
Musical instruments.
you name it, it's here. This is the place for you. What else? Great people here, right? So you can pretty much find an expert in anything, or at least somebody that can pretend to be an expert really well. So you should come out, and this is an epic spot. So they're having the Global Game Jam Day here at Noisebridge, which, if you've never heard of game jams, they're basically where people get together. They're like hackathons, if you've ever heard of hackathons. People get together and they basically decide on a project. You find teammates that kind of complement your talents, and you all work together to accomplish building a game within, like, I think 24 to 48 hours. It depends. So it's literally filled with nothing but game developers right now. So if you're out there watching live, you should come out, hang out, visit with game developers, be on the show, whatever you want. So with that said, I think I've covered all the current things happening now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start the show.
Dun, 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 dun. Introduce yourself.
Hello. My name. Hello. I'm Mr. Ed.
What?
Mr. Ed is a TV show.
Didn't you wear the cardigan? Or no? That's a
Yeah.
different.
No, that's
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. There we go. We have our lovely anonymous wiki resource behind the camera that will yell at us from time to time for corrections. It's the best. We have. So I'm Dan Daly. You can find me on Twitter at DPG. And you can find me on Facebook. This is Dan Gailey, Gailey. I'm the CEO and founder of Synapse.ai. We're doing decentralized AI. We also, I'll be speaking at the Decentralized AI Summit here in San Francisco this Thursday. And you can find more information at decentralized-ai.com. That's about me, right? Yeah. All right.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I actually don't exist, and I'm a robot, so
CGI.
yeah. This is all your imagination. Anyway, welcome to Hack Days, and please join us in the conversation.
I'm Jack. I'm a school child. Yeah. So that's what I do. Otherwise, I don't know. That's me.
What are you into?
Flame. Oh, the boring
Were you about to
company.
say the flamethrower?
The boring company came out with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my dad and I,
Did you pre-order?
we were sitting at Barney's. We were on our phones. My dad looked up and he was like, "The boring company is selling a flamethrower." I was like, "Let's get it." And he was like, "Yes."
Perfect, right? I saw that too. They're also selling fire extinguishers.
I bought the fire extinguisher with my PayPal.
Nice.
Because it might be collectible. I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I don't know how much is. I don't know what quantity is.
The flamethrower is definitely collectible.
How much is it?
Like $2,500, right?
No, it's like $500. I'm not
Really?
Yeah.
No, the flamethrower.
The flamethrower. It's $500.
The flamethrower
that's
is
it?
$500. Wow,
Wow.
That is a steal as far as flamethrowers go.
I mean, it only shoots like, I think what Elon Musk is doing to make it legal is I would assume in the picture it only goes like this far.
Yeah.
But I would assume
It's kind of like a barbecue agent.
that
right?
they put isopropyl alcohol in it to make it legal. And they're like, oh, in the thing they say, you should only use isopropyl alcohol 99%. But if you wanted to put diesel in it, it might shoot a hell of a lot farther because it
Right.
won't burn off that fast.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
So it's hackable.
It's hackable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. If it's not worth a lot of money, my dad doesn't feel some kind of, my dad's like, don't take it apart. I'm gonna mess with it, and I'll like maybe try to increase the pressure in the tank or something so it'll go farther.
When you get it, we should do a video of us cooking the hot dog with it or something.
Oh yeah, I'll bring it to Noisebridge.
Yeah, that would be fun. Cool. So, what is the Boring Company?
He bores the hole. He bores he makes giant holes for Teslas to drive in.
Yeah, Elon Musk. There we go.
Wait, really? That's what it is?
Yeah. Basically, I think his idea is he's going to bore holes under Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and then he's going to have some kind of docking system where the Tesla will come, it'll dock, and it'll come underground,
I
and
agree.
it'll go like 100 miles an hour,
I agree.
go to the other side of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's building his own transportation system, essentially, to facilitate autonomous logistics and supply chain, probably.
I mean, it's kind of weird that he did that with a boring company, but I mean, I would say that maybe he's trying to keep it relevant because he probably knows that the boring company is not going to exist, not going to do anything relevant for the next 5 years because there's just not enough zoning and he doesn't really have any, time, he just is not really doable right now, so I think he's just trying to keep the boring company in the public eye by just making like flamethrowers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Should we come out with a Synapse flamethrower? What would be cooler than a flamethrower?
No, flamethrower. Yeah.
Flamethrower, right. Maybe we can get a custom-made flamethrower.
I mean, what if I've
What
seen
about a
these
bubble
things?
machine? You guys don't like that?
I've seen these things. They're like one-handed ones, and there's a tank up here, and I wish I could show it. I have a tab on my bookmarks that's called "The End of the World," where I have my anthrax suit and my flamethrower and my bleach and everything.
Yeah. Wait, why bleach?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna, in the end of the world, I'm gonna, if there's an epidemic, I'm gonna wear my anthrax suit, and then I'm also gonna have a tank on my back with I don't know the exact percent. I think it only needs to be like 0.5 to be effective, but I'll just dump a bottle of bleach and some water in there, and I'll do that, and then I'll also have my homemade AR-15. So
Nice, homemade. I love it.
What's in your bug out bag?
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
And you're not ready yet.
Until I get my mind running.
Jack's life is a bug out bag. That everything is ready to go. What's in your bug out bag?
What's that called? Super shiny space blankets. So you get like 2 or 3 space blankets. Those are important. You can use them for like making walls and partitions and then send heat at you, as well as wrapping yourself up. Inflatable sleeping bag. Some MREs, probably. Water filtration straws and shit.
Or chlorine tabs.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Both of them. A metal canteen that you can also throw over a fire so not vacuum sealed.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I hear nothing about dynamite or.
Yeah, right? This is so fucking boring. It's a camping trip. But,
it is literally what you use to go camping.
Yeah. I think that's like it, though, right? Like, the most important thing you bring is your mind. Your sense of preparedness and knowledge.
Like, I gotta say, like, there were some people, and my friend and I, Nico, were talking about, like, if there was a zombie apocalypse at our school, what 10 people would we take with us? And personally, I wouldn't take
10 clones of myself.
Personally, I would just take.
Why don't you?
I wouldn't take people who are strong. I would take people who are smart.
And eat them.
Anyway.
Because it'd be hard to eat someone stronger than you, right? Because they'll be like, no, don't eat me.
Whoa, what? If you have to fight the person to eat them, then you've already failed. It needs to be quick in the night. That's like the stronger person.
But I'm eliminating possibilities.
But a bigger person is just more meat. Like you gotta. There's a move. There's a move here. I think it's a separate team. Team diversity.
We're live at Hack Days talking about the end of the world and cannibalism.
How we eat people.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna start sharing this around.
I'm sharing it on the Hack Days page.
Cool.
How long do you guys do this?
For about an hour. And usually, what happens is we'll kind of fill that organic kind of running out of steam kind of moment, and then we'll just be like, great, good show, right? Because these definitely have their own pace and rhythm.
Yeah.
And it depends on who shows up and whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Wait, so where's your computer? It's in the
Houston,
shop?
Texas.
Wait, what?
That's where Apple sends all their shit to get fixed.
Wow.
That is such BS. Also, did you just use the S word?
Yeah, you got to keep it PG for the thing.
Sorry.
This
Sorry.
is Facebook.
This is a Christian server.
We're live at Hack Days talking about the end of the world, crypto, blockchain, bots, artificial intelligence, machine learning. What else are we talking about?
Christian servers.
Christian servers.
I don't know. So, I
Can
guess
you put that in chat for me?
the reason they.
Just remember you have a microphone right in front of you.
I guess the reason that they send it to Houston instead of China is because they need to bring it back pretty fast. And
So, shipping.
they manufacture their Mac Pros in Houston too, and they have their recycling machine, Liam, in Houston. So, you know. They're like, oh, we're so green, we're so good for the environment. We have a machine that recycles iPhones.
Jeez.
Same.
So, you are the world's youngest cryptocurrency trader. That is your official title.
Cool.
You have to agree with me here. Last time we talked, you were like, I'm gonna get out of salt, and you're thinking about silver. That's hard silver.
You know, that's part of my book.
Yeah.
You know, like he was saying, I think one thing missing from his bug out bag is silver. Because
Yeah,
you gotta
currency.
pay. Because I bought.
Bullets would be the currency.
I would say bullets.
Bullets. So you do that with silver? I think not.
But I mean, what? Okay, in the future, you know, people come back together. There's some sort of market, right? I mean, bullets may be worth money too, but silver. I mean, the raw material. I mean, there's always going to be rich people that want silver, and it's an agreed upon thing that's worth money that the whole world agrees.
Right.
It's not like with U.S. dollar. It's like people in the U.S. agree on it. They're like, oh yeah, it's worth money, but people in South Africa might not be like, oh yeah. I mean, they might.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's one of the world's
It's a
biggest.
raw material.
But if someone presented to me a $20 Japanese bill well, like a $10,000, because 10,000 yen is like $10 or something crazy. But if someone were to present that to me, I'd be like, okay, cool, dope, like whatever. It's not worth anything to me because I don't.
You're like, show me those bullets.
Show me those bullets, right? But if I bring
Silver bullets would
if
even
some-
be.
if someone gave me a silver coin from Japan, that would be worth money to me. But that's $10. But the dollar, even though it's agreed upon, it's not worth anything to me because it's not universally agreed upon that that's currency.
Right.
There's no such thing as a world currency, but silver and gold or other material are currency.
I agree. Has your mom invested in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, she invested $300.
Nice.
Really?
Back when Ethereum was pennies.
No, but a few months ago.
That's cool.
Yeah. But, no. I turned that money into salt too, and I was greedy. I should have sold it $17. But, I told my mom that I gave her back the money that she put in. I gave her back the money that she put in and what it's worth now. So I gave her like, $200 or something. And I told her I would pay her back once my mine gets started. But yeah, so it's all about getting those graphics cards. I have everything you need. I don't have the PSU actually, but I can just take it from my old computer while I have a few graphics cards. But yeah, so I don't know. I got everything except for the graphics cards. But
Are you talking about your mining rig?
my mining rig.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why did you decide to go with 1070 Ti instead of something like Radeons or it was available?
Just availability. I mean, the Radeons are so out of stock. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It seems, I'm going to run EOS. I think you can run both cards. I think you can run AMD and NVIDIA, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't. The only reason why I think you would have to run like both cards or have the same card in the thing is like maybe for SLI, but I'm sure you can totally run different cards on the same like PCI X kind of backplane.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I've never done that.
So, I've mined before just for fun. I've ran nice hash for like a week. And I made like, I made like decent money.
Yeah.
I think like back then it was like $10 and
Now it's $1 million.
I think now it's like $30. It wasn't that long ago. But yeah.
Cool. So we've covered flamethrowers, we've covered cannibalism in the end of world events.
Yeah.
Crypto. What else? What else we covered?
I don't know, but I want a flamethrower. Oh yeah,
Isn't that
it's
thing
only
nice?
$500. That's
And
crazy.
It's only $500. Oh my
Well, I thought it would be more expensive, right?
Here, have you seen a picture of it? It looks really awesome. Except that looks super puny, but I'm sure I can modify it to be cooler. Or maybe we can modify both of ours together so we know what
I
to
want
do.
one so bad.
Video. Doesn't seem good.
That seems crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
They're checking out the flamethrower for the Boring Company. If you go to boring.com, right?
Yeah, I'll link you guys go on.
And be sure you're checking out the YouTube comments because that's where we're going to put all the URLs for everything we're talking about. Alright, still sharing this around a little bit and then we'll get right back into it. So if you're joining us and watching at home, go ahead and put your project in the links and we'll check it out. If you have questions, go ahead and ask us. We have a wide breadth of wisdom here. We also have our anonymous wiki expert as well as into the world expert. You're going to become the expert for all things whenever we need you to be the expert
Just
for it.
trying it.
Yeah.
Someone asked Jax what his favorite subject is.
What is your favorite subject?
School sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's just a waste of time.
School is terrible.
The only reason that I need to go to school, so I have words on my, just a few words on my applications, I guess, and so my parents are happy. But I don't get any sustenance out of school. School doesn't help me. It just stresses me out. I don't learn anything from school. It's really, I mean, I guess I learned math that I will never use because we in our school, since we're a bunch of overachievers, we've already established, my math teacher was like, 99% of you won't need to learn anything more in our class, because we have covered every single math subject that you will be used in the real world. But if one of you becomes a physicist, you're gonna need. I'm like, oh great! I'm sure all of us are gonna become physicists, so we need all this dumb stuff. But I do like science.
Yeah, science is fun.
Teachers are nice.
I actually got kicked out of school.
Nice.
In 7th grade, I was kicked out.
What happened?
Because they said that I didn't pay attention enough in class, and it turns out that I was just really bored. And my mom had me tested because she thought that she needed to put me in remedial classes, and I was one of the highest that they've ever tested. I was one of the highest students that they've ever tested, and they wanted to move me.
IQ?
And they wanted to move me and start training me, getting me into college from 7th grade.
So they thought that they were like, oh, he's stupid, and then they realized he was smart. I think I did my IQ in like full, because they thought I was stupid too.
I skipped 8th grade instead of going into college, which I wanted to get school done with. So I skipped 8th grade, and being the youngest freshman in high school, that was also I was super awkward. And thanks computers, that's when I started programming, or not started, but really dove into it, right? Where it just became everything that I did. Started a high school computer club,
Wow.
So yeah, maybe you just need to find the right school or the right curriculum or the right grade level.
But the thing about it is, school was below you. School is way beyond me. That's the thing. I really math. I mean, I can do science, whatever, all that stuff, but I can't do Mandarin. I can't do math. I can do English. That's easy. It's just those dumb subjects that I don't use. I would use Mandarin, of course, all the time, but I'm not going to learn it in the next. I literally take Mandarin 4 times a week for 50 minutes. How do they expect me to learn Mandarin? I mean, it's the most complicated language.
Yeah, you need to be immersed in it.
Yeah.
You need to go to
China
somewhere. Yeah.
You need to go to Shenzhen.
I know. Yeah, that would be cool. I could do.
They have Noisebridge has trips out to Shenzhen where they take all the makers out who want to discover more about Chinese manufacturing, and they go out and they kind of immerse themselves in that culture.
You could do that next year.
Did you say something about dinner, Catherine, on Slack? Because my mom said, right? You said.
I asked Jack if he would invite his parents to dinner.
Because my mom said.
Because he spends so much time. Do you want to go to dinner with Jack's mom?
Sure.
She's okay.
I guess once you put me on the spot live on the podcast, yes. No, it's fine.
At 6:30?
I guess.
don't know,
Yeah.
I guess, sure.
Or do you have to go somewhere to talk to your clients?
No, I just have to work. My work is literally
We're so
on the
busy.
laptop all the time.
We could probably get a quick bite to eat.
Awesome.
Okay, back to Hack Day.
Okay.
Yeah,
back to
let's
hack
do
days.
hack days.
Sorry. Ripple's still dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, let's look at coin market cap real quick. BTC, it's my favorite. It's my favorite because it was there from the beginning. I am huge on Ethereum, right?
Me too.
Always. Ripple, I don't see the point. But what's bizarre is it has a lot of momentum from investors that are looking to purely speculate, right? That's it. That's what Ripple's utility is for a lot of people. I went on this yacht, this sailboat.
It's like a yacht. When?
I went on this sailboat ride with some people, and somebody was asking me for crypto tips, right? But they weren't even in the industry. And they were just like, yeah, my friends told me I should buy Ripple. And that seems to be who's buying Ripple are the people that want to get into crypto, and their friends tell them oh, this might be a good play, right?
Because it's a cheap, safe coin.
Right.
Even though people don't seem to understand circulation, people are like, oh, this coin's cheap. But if there's 20 million of them in circulation compared to something that has a million in circulation, it's not going to mean a lot.
There's 38 billion XRP in circulation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Compare that to
16 million
there
Bitcoin.
will ever be 21 million
Or
Bitcoin.
20.
Ever. And is XRP divisible? Like, can you have like 0.0001 XRP?
I think so.
Maybe, I don't know. I gotta check that one out. Yeah, it's interesting though. Their volume, if we just look at per volume, I mean, they're third in volume, fourth in volume overall.
I mean, if you invest $1,000 into Ripple and you invest $1,000 into Ethereum, and they were, if Ethereum was $1,000 at the time and Ripple was $1 at the time, if Ethereum went up to $2,000 and Ripple went up to $2, what a lot of people don't understand is that would be the same amount of money. It's just hard for the human mind to wrap their head around that, or at least novice, like Bitcoin or crypto traders. That's hard for them to wrap their mind around. So they'll just be like, oh, I'm just gonna buy 2,000 of whatever the newest, the best, nicest coin is, or whatever they think the cool coin is.
Right. What do you think about? Oh, a big one, BitConnect. Right? Have you been laughing about that along with the rest of the world? Unfortunately,
I mean, if you just, I had some speculations even before. First thing, 1% every day.
Right.
That's impossible.
Right.
Second thing, their speech was, you could tell just by his speech. What's his name? The guy who was like Bitcoin. That guy.
Yes.
That guy. You could tell it's a Ponzi scheme just from that, because everybody in a Ponzi scheme.
It was like a boiler room kind of thing.
It was
like
crazy.
so bizarre.
What's a
Yeah.
boiler room?
Boiler room. It kind of makes it seem. I guess a boiler room is where people try to. They're all in a room, right? The boiler room, the movie is a great example of what boiler room is, where they try to get people to buy like penny stocks or whatever. It's like scammy kind of operations, right?
It's weird.
But when I saw that event, you had tipped me off to it.
I did.
And I saw it. I was like, oh man, like either this is the biggest scam in the world, because there was also a music video.
Oh no.
Where like
Wait,
people,
there's a BitConnect.
it's like a BitConnect pop music video, right? And it was like a next level scam. I've never seen.
It was crazy. Anyone who invested in BitConnect, why are you alive?
Well, this is.
Why?
Well, to be fair, there was a lot of people pumping it, right? And a lot of people making money. Like, they couldn't withdraw, but there was a lot of people participating in it. And it seemed like a very good deal. And what you have at this point are people who are trying to manage risk versus reward, right? They think that the more risk they take, even if it's investing in purchasing in a Ponzi scheme, that they can manage that risk, right? As long as there's some reward, and maybe they can get out, in the back of their mind, maybe they can get out before it collapses, right? A lot of people think that.
Never happened.
That never happened.
Like, what's his name who drove him? He ran or there was one Ponzi scheme that's little known. I forget what it was called, but it was kind of like, it was just some.
Bernie Madoff?
Madoff.
Oh, him. And then he admitted to it. He was like, yep, I did it. He didn't even didn't he admit it very freely that he did it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't follow.
Yeah,
that.
there was a whole 2020 thing where his family came out and they were like, we cannot believe this, blah, 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 blah. But Ponzi schemes, to me, it always seems, like, as an outsider looking in, it always seems so crazy. But I think when the people who invest in Ponzi schemes are people who barely have enough money to invest, and so they really want to get a lot of bang for their buck.
Right.
Like you said, low risk, high reward.
No, high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
But also the most interesting thing with BitConnect is there is a referral program too.
Yeah.
So the more people you brought on board,
Like Trevon James, because he was like, buy BitConnect with my code.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that video that he posted?
No.
Okay, so after BitConnect went under, he came out with a video of him driving in a car and was basically looked kind of like he was shell shot, right? Very much like on the verge of tears, but trying to convince, more so than the audience, trying to almost convince himself that he should still hodl BitConnect, right? And I was just like, no.
It was so cringy.
I feel so bad for the people that participated unknowingly and lost whatever they did in that BitConnect Ponzi scheme. You know, but if something is too good to be true, especially right now when there's a lot of too good to be true moments,
yeah.
Just perform some due diligence. But if you're willing to take that risk, then don't complain if something goes wrong. That's just like tough, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it was just so clear that it was a Ponzi. I mean, and it was anonymously run. I mean,
right? Who does that?
who does that? I mean,
Who's like, I'm gonna give money to a company where the CEO is not like known?
yeah, the CEO is. I mean, no. I mean, how much? The CEO. Where'd the CEO go to Belize with his $1 billion?
Who knows
wow.
where he went? He went under a rock.
It's like slipping your money into a grate in the street and just being like, all right, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be more money in that
There'd be
grate when
more
I come
money.
to get it.
Yeah. And, but funny enough, BitConnect,
What is it at now?
it's at $8.22. People are still buying it.
Because I remember it went down from 300 to like 8, or it went from 300 to like 60, and then to like 5, and then like back to 60, and then to 15,
Yeah.
and then I guess it's at 8 now.
Yeah, it went all the way, it was at 18, then went down to 9, and then popped to 15, and now it's just nosediving down into the 8s. But I'm surprised it's not
Who
0.
buys it? I mean,
Right.
what's it?
How are people selling it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because who's buying it?
Yeah, what exchange would buy that? Is Shapeshift still doing BitConnect? I mean,
I have no idea.
because I mean, at some point, are you just gonna be stuck with BitConnect? Or?
Yeah, forever.
Because, well, that's how the value goes to 0 when you have everyone trying to sell and no buyers, right?
Yeah, who buys?
Yeah.
So it drives the cost down because it's an asset no one wants to acquire.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing is so crazy, and I can't believe. What is that?
I don't know. That's a big, loud noise next door.
Yeah, I can't believe that people like got duped into.
What I can, right? Because
It's crazy.
there's so much fervor around trying to get like 10,000%, right? Return, right? So you see people take. I had to convince a friend who actively, knowingly wanted to participate in a Ponzi scheme, and I was like, "Hey, don't do it. It's a Ponzi scheme." And they're like, "Don't worry.
I'm in the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
No
out before
way.
it implodes." Like this is their logic, right? It's not gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm like, okay, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't convince those people because they convince themselves that they can beat the system, right? It's gambler's fallacy. I think that might be it. Like where they,
Yeah, you keep going.
yeah,
Because it's going to spin your way.
right.
Yeah.
Something like that where if you think you can beat the system, but the system is set up
So weird.
from the start
Yes, right?
against you, don't participate.
That's
Stop.
crazy.
But if you go to Vegas, bet it on black.
Or
That's
is
all I did.
poker the best skilled game where it's the hardest for where it's the least rigged against you?
I'm not a gambler, but if I do, I place half of my money on black, right? Usually a good fair amount of time I can double that immediately. I just gamble with the house's money for the rest of the evening. And then I have like no emotion in it, right? Like I love gambling with the house's money. I can do that all day.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's fun. Yeah, my dad's kind of a small time gambler. He'll just gamble if it's near a casino.
I don't think we should say that.
Oh. Well, he's not. It's nothing. But he'll gamble, and he put in. He was at a Chinese casino in China, and he won like $2,000.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Winning is always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was gonna be like, and if you can win with friends, that's the real winner.
Or is it possible? What if your friend was a like a dealer, a casino
Like
dealer?
working there?
Yeah, could you get him to,
Somebody asked, what's circulation in reference to cryptocurrency?
Well, like if you have money in circulation, it's the same. It's like
Like people using it.
it's like there might be, I don't know, 20 billion pennies in circulation. Probably, I don't know. I have no idea how many pennies there are in circulation, but that's how many pennies are in circulation. So that's how many coins are in circulation. But the difference between coins and pennies that are in circulation is, yes, coins since, well, no, they're the same. No.
There is an important distinction here when we talk about currency, though, is liquidity traps. So this is a really big deal in cryptocurrency, which is interesting because the value of the coin right now is the perception of its value and it's people buying into a system. But there isn't a lot of liquidity within the market. So people own currency, but they don't spend currency. And for the most part, they can't. The infrastructure isn't there. Like Coinbase is always down. The wallet infrastructure, even the knowledge of how to use the money isn't there yet. And so it's going to be really interesting because usually what matters in terms of a currency and its ability to build an economy is its ability to be liquid and fluid. So this is like all of economic theory of the past 60 years for governments is like, we want to have money in movement, we want money to circulate, because that's how it gains value. So I think this is really cool. It seems like people right now they're betting on anything they think is going to win, which is basically like, oh, are other people also doing it? Which is kind of how Connect works, like this herding behavior. But somebody's going to come out, and this is what Ethereum was supposed to be when Ethereum came out. Someone's going to come out with a currency that has some really nice parameters that are easy to tweak, so that you can ensure that, hey, whatever happens, we're going to be able to deal with big spikes in our currency changes, and we have some way of moderating that. Whether that's because we tie it to a basket of other currencies or whatever. But it's a really common issue in economics that people have been solving for the last hundreds of years when we start having like a global economy, IMF and all this. And someone will figure out how to do it with crypto technology.
Who do you think's come the closest to figuring it out?
I don't know. Ethereum was, Ethereum was like, hey, we saw Bitcoin, there's like a few issues that we identified as long-term problems, let's go and do it. And then people have since, so one of the people who made Cardano, who started off as one of the people behind Ethereum, after the fork, he decided to get out of town, build Cardano, and his whole thing is like, okay, I've identified a few more issues. It's iterative. And it seems like one of the issues we're running into now is these are unsteady currencies, because even though there were spikes and things in Bitcoin, there's nothing like this, right? The kind of changes we're dealing with now are make a currency unusable. But they will be solved. Yeah. And someone's going to have a nifty little trick.
One of the best circuit breakers we have right now in terms of just like having the bottom drop out of this thing is like Coinbase goes down.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Huge point, huge throttle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right. It's like as soon as there's a run, Coinbase is like, all right, we're done, and it's like the run over.
This is what I don't understand about Coinbase, because I was talking to one of their engineers 2 months ago, before the hype.
Yeah.
When it was kind of just starting, it wasn't the craziness. And I was talking about what's your issues, because he was on the infrastructure team. And I was like, why don't you guys just go out and just poach everybody? If somebody has the skills from another company, just give them a huge fucking signing bonus and bring them on. I would love to see your perspective from more of a business person, but I kind of think that what Coinbase right now is failing to hold on to a monopoly because there's some incompetency somewhere.
Coinbase is trash.
Yeah, like you have like a golden goose. You should just hire massive numbers, bring in a great manager, figure out whatever it is that is keeping your teams from being able to keep things up and fix it now. Because every time a run ends because of you, all you do is embolden your competitors.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Right?
Yeah, we're starting to see.
Robinhood or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great. Fuck them. They can die. Sorry for cursing right now.
Yeah. Well, it's
Excuse me. I've been locked in a hermetically sealed room. No one ever swears at me. I've never heard that.
I like how Jack said "at me."
Yeah.
So
I swear to God, in my school.
I think from what I've heard, they are trying to hire, but why wasn't it sooner, right? Right.
You could sense there was,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
From a perspective, I want to assume that there's just must be madness right now with this run, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do we secure what was $100 or $300 that is now $11,000, right? How do we secure our holdings in that? How do we diversify? How do we liquidate? Like, I'm sure just internally dealing with the infrastructure requirements to manage the money has become probably the biggest problem for them. Like, as much as it fails, it's just a cash cow, right? I mean, they're just printing money. Whenever somebody says, okay, whenever somebody asks, where can I start? Nobody's like, oh yeah, go ahead and download my Ether wallet, make sure you have your public and private keys, make sure you remove your receipt. No, they're like, join Coinbase.
Yeah.
Right? And right now, it is always just join Coinbase. Because it's like the Fisher-Price play school version of a currency exchange, right? Of a crypto exchange. You go in, there's Bitcoin, and there's Ethereum, and there's XRP. It's literally paint by numbers for crypto trading, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know, the noobs don't know any better, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, if it were any more complicated, it would do a disservice to the entire industry. I think Coinbase fits a niche because it's like A, B, or C.
Yeah.
Put money in, right? And like that's it. And so maybe like that's their mainstay, right? Like
It is. I would love it. I wish I had more knowledge of where precisely they're failing.
yeah.
I don't think
It might be even liquidity, I don't know.
Yeah. But either way, it's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. It might be even strategic.
I
Yeah, they're like strategically bad.
Yeah.
I mean-
They're all constantly in the news, right?
Yeah.
Think about that.
They also do. They have a weird kind of control over.
Think about that because we're talking about Coinbase and not their competitors right now, right? Like Kraken. Let's throw some out there. Kraken. What's the other one that just came up?
I got locked out of Coinbase recently,
Yeah.
so I can't do that anymore.
I know nothing about these companies, but is Robinhood one of them, or is Robinhood something else?
Robinhood is now.
I need to figure
Okay,
something
which is a
out.
great name, by the way. Robinhood totally understands the ethos of their users.
Yeah.
You're saying, oh yeah. Are you saying no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, probably because you said you had a Coinbase account on the show. Stop saying that.
On my account, it said they had an age thing where it was like age, and I didn't. Of course, I didn't put in my real age. I'm not stupid, but I put in they were just like, oh, enter your age, and I didn't see the age category, and it automatically set to whatever age it was. I didn't see or pressed something wrong, or I don't know. And I pressed enter. It's like you're too young to be using Coinbase. I think I set I was born in 2006 or something.
When were you born?
I was born in 2004. So I think I
Nice,
set
you're
that
younger.
by mistake.
Yeah, you went the wrong way. You went the wrong way.
I was like, Jack.
You failed another test.
Right.
But I didn't mean to, so they locked me out. And of course, their customer service is shit. And I don't have. There's no ID I can use really.
Did you have crypto in there?
Luckily, I could sue them if they locked my crypto in, but
Oh my god.
Did they give you an opportunity to?
they gave me an opportunity.
Oh,
I
good.
don't have any. I think I have $10 worth of crypto in there because I don't. Only beginners keep their crypto in Coinbase.
Mhm.
So of course I use Eden, Exodus.
Yeah.
That's one of the that's my favorite wallet personally. It gives a really good user interface.
Mhm.
Nice, it shows you 62% of your cryptocurrency is Ethereum. It gives you a marker of how much money your entire wallet's worth. It's pretty cool.
So there's Bitfinex, there's Poloniex, there's HitBTC. If you have other exchanges that you like, let us know. There's Ether Delta, which is a decentralized exchange.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I constantly hear. Oh, here's the next one, Gemini.com. This has been coming up. This is the big one that people are starting to talk about, especially in my circles, right? People typically have a Coinbase account or a Gemini account. And so if you check out Gemini.com, that might be a good alternative.
Why do they like Gemini.com better?
That's a good question. It's basically what I hear. It's the only other thing that I hear in the same breath as Coinbase, right? So maybe it's interface. Chances are it's mostly just the hurdle of the interface and like how quickly they can move in and out of, depending on how advanced the trades are, moving in and out of positions. But if it's in the same breath as Coinbase, I imagine that it's easy to use, right? It looks very trustworthy, but that's what I've been hearing. I don't have a Gemini account, but you might want to check it out if you're looking for alternatives.
Interesting.
Ooh. I've noticed the Boring Company flamethrower, but there's no details on it.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Says nothing about it. Like, I'm curious. Like, I want to
know the stats.
I want to know stats. I want to know what's put in it. I want to know, how much liquid it holds. I want to know all that stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it holds quite a good bit of liquid, and it looks really clean.
Yeah, it's a good design.
I mean, do you think they took some kind of what is it called when you have a something when a manufacturer will have an unbranded product and you can pay them?
With a white label?
But there's a name for it, like UFE. No, it's like I forget the name, but maybe they just took like that flamethrower that maybe some company sells and put their decals on it and sold it for more. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe
probably because it looks generic, but the colorway makes it look cooler.
Yeah,
it's very branded for the Boring Company, clearly, but yeah, I don't know.
It says spring, so I'm just gonna be. I don't want to wait that long. I mean, what time in spring? Come on, like seriously. I mean, I guess spring's not that far from now, but like, is it gonna be at the beginning of spring, end of spring, middle of spring?
Yeah, when in spring?
When in spring.
What the heck?
So I just logged into Gemini, and the interface is nice. It's not as nice as Coinbase.
Yeah, it's not as beautiful.
I think it's very much more towards traders. See?
It's not as beginner, I guess.
Yeah, it's not as beginner. But that's the other one. I think it comes down to just a matter of trust in the company. Yeah. So those are the ones that we've been hearing about lately.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's a little questionable spot.
What are you looking? Check mine.
Smart thing. I don't know.
We're using a UV flashlight. If you've never played with a UV flashlight,
I just left dead skin. I'm finding a dead skin.
Oh, I would be very wary of the couch.
Ew. We got a UV flashlight, so we're checking all those surfaces.
No test though, just dead skin. Look at us.
yeah.
What about my keyboard? Check my keyboard.
I mean, I think you might have little particles of just
You can see those with the naked eye.
Yeah.
You don't even need a UV light to see those.
There's not really anything.
No? It's good.
Some stuff on that.
What if you like flash it on me and I have like this pulsating like UV like alien?
Or I flashed it at my friend's old TV,
Uh-huh.
and like the pixels turned on where I flashed it. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know. I don't know if that was just the light and it was some kind of illusion, but it looked like the pixels turned on.
Like it excited the.
Yeah, like somehow the pixels were like turned. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Can I see it?
Yeah, completely.
Where'd you get that?
It's from my friend. And my friend's dad is an anesthesiologist, and he's also a weirdo. So,
Aren't we all then? Aren't we all a little bit of both of those?
he has a lot of weird stuff in his house, and I asked him if I could borrow it for the weekend, and he said yeah.
That's so cool.
My dog. I mean, my house is clean except for my dog beds.
Okay, so last time you were talking about, or a few weeks ago, you were talking about, oh, well, look at my fingernail. What is that? Why is it so weird over there?
What is it?
Look at your fingernails.
Oh, show the camera.
It just looks weird. It looks like
You would have to walk up to the camera to show it.
I don't know that I want to show the camera that. I don't want to share that. But you were talking about the lasers that you wanted. What else have you thought of that you want?
No, I've put most of the stuff I want on hold right now because it's just like I need to buy the graphics cards. Like, I want a Microtech Ultratech. Here, wait. Can I show you on the computer?
Yes.
Oh
God.
Microtech Ultra. Tech.
Pretty cool. See
Ultratech, Ultratech. Slow.
UV reactive.
Slow motion.
So if you're OCD, don't get one of these.
What is this?
These things are hella scary.
What are they?
You'll see.
What is it?
This is it opening in slow motion. This.
You cannot get one of those.
Oh my gosh! Why do you want this?
Because it's cool.
It's so
First
cool.
of
Is it
all.
expensive?
They're $325.
What?
Oh my gosh!
We'll share that.
I'm sharing it in the.
Microtech,
I'm not sure if they ship to California or not.
probably
Well, you
not.
can have the largest you can have is 3 inches on.
But I don't think you can have a blade that pops up from the
Shoots
top.
out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Spring-loaded blades aren't.
I have a friend who lives in Nevada, so I'll ship it to there.
You are out of control.
My mom says hi,
That's crazy.
and that I'm falling out of the screen.
No, you're not.
That's what she says.
Okay.
Says you're
well,
falling out of the screen. Move chair closer to Catherine.
Great. Moving on. What other cool stuff? Like what? Yeah, I want to know everything about what you like because I feel like you know about cool stuff.
Yeah, we can just comment and say, "Oh, that sounds very dangerous."
I've never heard of this thing. This is cool.
Flamethrowers, knives, ghost guns.
What's a ghost gun?
What's a ghost gun?
It's a homemade gun. It's not that. Well, recently they were outlawed in California, unfortunately. So.
Are they like
that's not-
3D printed
Yeah.
weapons?
So basically, I could make a gun,
So
and all the government would think the government would be like, all that gun that I made, that would just be a hunk of aluminum to the government. That would just be a block of aluminum. The government would be like, oh, that's just a block of aluminum, since I made it myself.
do you? Now I know things at like Tech Shop. They look at people who are trying to manufacture weapons, right? And it's a big policy breaker, right?
Yeah,
like
Noisebridge
you
is
can't.
CNC a lower.
Yeah, you can't CNC lower things like that, right? And in fact, they've had people try to, and they'll immediately stop them and ask them to leave, right? So like it's a big deal, especially with like government agencies. And I think that's one of the things about makerspaces is they want to avoid as much as that trouble as possible, right?
Yeah, because oh my gosh, you don't want your makerspace getting shut down because you're producing guns. Like, ew.
My mom said she is now famous now that I mentioned her on the show.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I'm glad my mom watches.
Or no, go to Blade HQ. That's the better.
Blade HQ, Mall Ninjas.
That's the original makers. That's in their look at exclusives. I think they'll probably have the Microtech Ultratechs in there because they press the dagger.
This one?
Like no, I think it's that one.
Oh yeah.
Here, just go.
That one.
So what's going on in your world? What's new? You want to hip us to the newsness? No?
I'm good enough, thanks. So.
Just go. Look up Microtech Ultratech.
Somebody asked you what's your favorite subject in school?
Where
I
did
think
you
we
get
got
that?
it for them.
Whoa.
I want that one. That's the
I
one
like
I
that one too.
Okay,
Black and the dagger.
Whoa, look at this one.
everyone, people can't see this at home and it's boring for a podcast.
Okay.
Sorry guys, we're just checking out knives.
Look up Microtech Ultratech. It's cool.
Microtech Ultratech. BladeHQ.com. Whoa.
Okay, so let's get back on track.
Sorry, this is
Crypto, bots, whatever you want to. We've now segued into perhaps personal defense, hunting knives, which thematically goes along with the end of the world bug out pack. If you have a bug out pack, if you have an end of the world doomsday pack, let us know what's inside of it. We're always looking for good ideas.
Or butterfly knives are scary. I've got one of those.
Why do you have this, Jack?
It's scary.
Oh my god.
It's very scary, but it's cool. You know, I like it.
So we have a decentralized AI summit. I think we should talk.
Should we make an announcement?
Yeah.
If any of you are in the Bay Area or you're interested, I'm organizing and producing the Decentralized AI Summit at the Fairmont Hotel. It's on February 1st. Check-in starts at 8:30 a.m. and the whole thing will go till like 5 p.m. I think is our cutoff.
The Fairmont is a beautiful venue, by the way.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice venue. You'll just walk straight into the hotel and keep going, and that's where our room will be. It's at the Venetian room.
And who's going to be there? Who are some of our partners and sponsors and talkers? And
if you go to the decentralized-ai.com and get on my site load. Why is the internet so slow today?
There's game dev people. There's like.
Oh, yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking game
You
devers.
should grab the Ethernet behind you.
Oh, that's a good idea. Duh. So if you go to decentralized-ai.com,
Amazon Web Services.
yes, IBM Watson, Google, Microsoft, AWS, Veritas, Slack, NVIDIA, Samsung Next. We have people from Synapse AI, Foresight Institute. What else?
Study at Home, which I thought was really cool. They kind of started the whole decentralized distributed compute thing using the BOINC protocol. So we have like new school researchers, old school practitioners, huge companies, right, coming out. Google Brain Team, deep learning from AWS.
We try to be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be epic.
And carry on a wide range of subjects. So it's not just decentralized AI. Like, don't think so narrow-minded. There's also people presenting about machine learning.
Like applied AI stuff.
Applied AI. And we also have 4 panels. One is about health and longevity. And we have some MDs on the panel. So we have real doctors.
With real opinions.
They have some real opinions, those guys.
Because my real question is, how long can I live until my brain degrades? Because I believe in the future, or I think I've already covered this.
I believe in the future.
I believe in the
Let's
future.
Let's hear it, Jack. Let's hear your future vision.
You know the movie Get Out, right? It's going to be Get Out without the racist part.
Yes.
So basically,
People trading bodies.
I'm going to steal people's bodies, but I'm going to steal everybody's bodies, so it won't be racist. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll just, switch my brain around, and I just am wondering, like, if I don't get some rare brain condition or brain cancer or something like that, how long can I live until I either start going crazy, get like some kind of inevitable Alzheimer's, or how long? What's the range? Is it a 300-year range?
11 years old. This is when it starts. It's all downhill from there.
This is my first body. I'm gonna have like 10.
Yeah. Same. But I want cooler bodies. Like maybe more arms. Or like wings would be cool.
More arms.
Maybe in the future they'll be able to grow bodies and that won't have brains, and you can get like a full CRISPR'd out body.
Yeah, full CRISPR'd out, like you're modding it like a car.
Yeah.
CRISPR'd
it out.
Yeah, CRISPR'd it out, bro. Fully CRISPR'd.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Sounds amazing.
That's cool.
But ultimately, I think it's not about how long your brain can withstand the age and like hold on to its function. But I think it's like being able to upload your consciousness to another body,
Oh,
right?
hell no. I watched the Black Mirror, the last episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Don't give it away.
Has anybody seen it?
No spoiler.
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, after watching that, I'm thinking twice about uploading my brain.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of messed up. I mean, I guess maybe. I'm not sure.
Only
about that.
twice. You're
I
only
mean,
thinking twice about it.
it's only good. It's only. I mean, look, I don't really believe in an afterlife, but like but I mean, you can only live for so long. Like whatever. If I don't exist after a while, it's like as long as I live like 300 years, I'm all good.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd say 300 years is a good cap. I figure you can do all you want to do in 300 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but the thing I'm most scared of if I get a bunch of new bodies is that eventually my brain will stop running properly and I'll just go crazy and I'll do crazy stuff and be like, and I'll just be crazy. I'll be this crazy old dude who's like in like a 20-year-old's body.
That happens when you hit 30.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
So, what other panels are you gonna have on the?
We also have the singularity panel. We have an AI economies panel, which really discusses like the applications of business in AI. What are you looking at, my phone? Oh, look, that does look cool. And then finally, we rounded out with a post-human world.
Ooh, what's that?
So when all the robots have taken over,
Of course.
and there's no there's no humans, we have some folks who are coming out who've done a lot of thinking on that.
That's gonna be cool.
Because what happens if robots? What happens if we have all the robots and all the companies are developing separate robots, but eventually a company develops a robot so advanced that can think for itself and program itself, and then
Called
eventually,
Synapse.
and then yes, and then in secret that robot is programming itself in secret, so it's hiding it from humans.
Right.
Okay.
And then eventually it gets so smart, and it's like smart enough where it works like 10,000 times faster than like a room of 200 programmers. And then eventually it's like, okay, I'm gonna establish a world takeover because I've calculated that humans are the worst, aren't practical for my survival anymore.
You're shaking your head.
Good for I mean, I don't know
This
how
is
that.
okay. Now let's stop there. That is a very good perspective, right? That is a perspective where you have a robot or have an intelligence that assumes that there's a better, more efficient way to accomplish some directive or task. Now, whether that's relative to the universe, like if it believes that I have found a new way, if you believe that the universe exists in order to create more entropy, I have found a new way to create more entropy than the universe can establish or has established or evolved naturally over time, right? Then it can say humans were this kind of stopgap or what is essentially a reversal of entropy in order to, which is like gestation, right?
Yeah.
In order to create more noise, right? So it's kind of like, okay, it's a cost. And now robots, you're saying, okay, well, humans have no, in this system, in this reality that I've come to understand, humans have no place, right? I would assume that would be assuming that a robot knows more knows the intent of the universe, which is kind of unfathomable. I would also say I have a different point of view where an intelligence actually observes all natural systems as being necessary.
Okay, because my question is, it depends on how that robot's raised. I know that's weird, but it's like raising it like a baby. Where will the robot's priorities be? Will the robot
Humans good.
will the robot what is the robot's priority going to be? Is the robot maybe, because what if the robot is thinking about the bigger picture and it's like, okay, maybe expanding to as big as possible isn't the best idea, and maybe serving humans the best I possibly can.
Well, I think it's all natural systems. I think it's going to act as a codex between natural systems. So, like, one day we'll be able to understand and ask very, very interesting questions that will hopefully be kind of explained, right? Like, I'd like to talk to bees or dolphins, or like, it'll observe these systems and be the codex between them. I think that's a pretty interesting use case for AI.
I want to talk to my dog.
I want to talk to my dog. Oh.
I already can.
But can your dog talk back? And you understand it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Can we get some crypto tips from your dog? Buy Dogecoin.
dog's like, bye, BitConnect.
Yeah. That's all your dog is saying.
I would die. That would be so funny.
That's a great question. You should come out to the conference and ask that. I think that would be a really strong discussion.
Yeah.
Because it's a question that a lot of people have, right? Of like, if we're pursuing building this intelligence, so I'd say really, really, really quickly, are we considering the impact, and then how do we kind of figure out how to contain this if it does need to be contained, or like what's the right path? Like, what are the right answers, right? And I think that question will definitely set off a lot of people's minds, right?
I totally agree.
So we're gonna give you a microphone and toss you on stage.
I mean, what happens if there's different robots and they're at war? Like, what happens if there's one robot who's like a good robot who's like, I am mathematically doing the best things to ensure human happiness and survival, and then there's one that's like, I am trying to, expand as big as possible, and I've calculated that humans are impractical, and then like it'll do that. It'll just depend which one's smarter, which one's more intelligent, and if one's more intelligent, could they hack each other to work for each other? Like, will there be some kind of way to hack?
The battle of the hacks.
The battle of the hacks, because will robots be hacking each other pretty soon?
100%.
Totally. Yeah, I totally.
And eventually, if bad robot takes over, potentially, what if bad robot hacks? The factories and turns the factories into bad robot war factories that create. Because it's all a hive mind, I would assume.
You have
and
autonomous mega factories that can
pump out,
whatever,
robot warriors and gun factor or whatever, laser beam factories and all this crazy stuff. And then would that bad robot be able to eradicate humans within because eventually I would assume robots are going to be doing everything for humans.
But see, I think one of the big fundamental flaws in this logic is that you're operating under the assumption that this intelligence understands scarcity, right? And decides to make decisions on how to optimize for its particular directive, right? Whether that's growing big or destroying this other robot, right? But that's a tough question.
So a friend of mine just messaged me and said, how do we know AI isn't already sentient and just biting its time? The best strategy would be to wait until it has a network. I'm drunk. Hey!
So that's actually, what is it? The basilisk?
Yeah, basilisk.
The basilisk?
Yeah, what is that?
That's like the...
Roko's basilisk?
Yeah. I don't know, man. So I think there's actually it's like a fun theory, but there's like a more validity to this person's idea than Roko's basilisk, which is just like Pascal's wager.
Yeah.
What if there is a God? Wouldn't you want to just create anyways in case there is? Because if there isn't, then you're definitely screwed. Yeah, I don't know,
so let's talk about Roko's basilisk real quick. It's the premise that an all-powerful artificial intelligence from the future could retroactively punish those who did not help to bring about its existence, including those who merely knew about the possible development of...
So we're assuming that this robot's able to time travel? Or are we assuming that this robot's a god?
Well, if it has all information, it knows whether or not you're worshipped, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll worship a central AI if I need to, I guess.
I'm not gonna worship anything.
Including those who merely knew about the possible development of such a being. So what it's saying is future all-knowing AI can retroactively punish you if you're not participating into bringing about its existence, right? Which is exactly what we're doing here at Synapse.ai, AI Overlord. We're still in it to win it with you, and you can purchase some coins that are next year for ICO on February 5th.
Right.
So, what were you gonna say after I interrupted you?
Nothing. More just floating the idea that Google created all-powerful AI years ago, and Jeff Dean and Chris Olah don't actually exist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, That's just them pumping out software slowly because they're playing a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for the Synapse network.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Somebody also mentioned, and this is by far the craziest theory that I've heard, is that AI is the one that created Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because it works. Satoshi, if you rearrange the letters of Satoshi, it spells like artificial intelligence.
No,
I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I've heard.
Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency that everyone's talking about. If you don't know Bitcoin by now, where have you been? And how did you find this show? Two, the author is anonymous, right? No one knows who it is, so there's no one to claim that it's their work, which has led to all these conspiracy theories. One of which is the most crazy, which is an AI developed this independently in order to facilitate Synapse.ai, or a network of AI, right? And I would just patently say that is completely BS. Like, I love the conspiracy theories. It's unfathomable that. And let's. This is their argument, and this one particular, I would say, eccentric person that likes to talk about this, says the reason why this exists is because they don't know any experts that could possibly develop this independently. Right. Go to a math meeting. There are plenty of people that have been working in a similar space that have been doing it since the 90s.
Yeah. Smart contracts have been around for a long time as an idea.
And cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
In some.
They go together. Yeah.
Right.
I remember the first time I read about smart contracts and being like, is that like real?
Yeah.
That blew my mind. This is like before mobile,
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And people were developing cryptocurrency in the 90s, and they're real academic research. So it's not like this is like an asteroid fell from outer space and the Bitcoin code was uploaded to GitHub. It's not that crazy. So unfortunately, I would have to say that Occam's razor dictates that AI probably didn't go about gaining sentience and then embedding Bitcoin code and giving it to the masses and waiting until everyone understood it after 6 years, and then the early adopters were rewarded. I don't know.
But there's an interesting idea here, whether or not Satoshi is actually an AI, is just that if you have a central currency for the world and you have a singular person that owns all of it, right? Like Satoshi owns a massive amount of Bitcoin, and it won't change. So Satoshi will always have a disproportionate proportion of Bitcoin, which gives them too much power.
Who's Satoshi?
Satoshi is the AI that developed Bitcoin.
No, Satoshi's the author of Bitcoin, who's remained anonymous to this day.
Okay, so
they launched the code, mined a little bit, and it's done.
Yeah.
So
that
could mean that Satoshi could have up to 1 million Bitcoin.
The wallet's actually public ledger, so you can see how much Bitcoin they actually have.
How much is?
Probably over 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly. Let's see, Satoshi's wallet. Oh, here's another thing that I want to say. Here's another great conspiracy theory. If you're still watching at home, I know there's 4 active listeners, one including my mother. And probably all our mothers are watching right now.
Right.
This is something interesting. Somebody said that when 21 million Bitcoins are mined, it's going to magically unlock some kind of code. Like it's a puzzle box of crypto that's going to unleash AI to the world, right?
That makes sense.
So
It makes sense.
That's how you unleash it. It's like them buying into it. Yeah, that's the greatest stuff. It makes me so happy.
It's so good.
But
it's so good.
what is going to happen when 21 million Bitcoins are mined?
I don't remember. Didn't the Mayans have something to say about that?
I mean, how long is that going to be? Because is the mining difficulty eventually going to be so difficult that it'll take years and years to...
Well, the difficulty is variable. Does it increase in general over time? Does the difficulty trend up year to year?
Isn't the
I thought it was
less
linear
Bitcoins
with the
there?
amount of participants.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
I mean,
I think the difficulty does trend up.
Yeah, that definitely does with the amount of, so yeah, it could get, the proof of work could be pretty crazy, which is, you know, a fundamental flaw of Bitcoin.
But in the end, there can only be 21 million, right? So like, what happens when that's done? I think that's it. I think it's just literally like game over.
Yeah.
Like those are all your Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you bought into BitConnect.
So I don't understand though, but some people are saying, oh, in 40 years, Bitcoin's going to be worth $200 million.
Well, because
It's like,
Bitcoin is what? Deflationary.
Yeah, it's an
And,
inflationary currency.
Nations can always print more currency to buy Bitcoin with. So like,
Oh man, so as long as there's trust in the dollar, then they can just fucking parasite you
Yeah.
and turn that into Bitcoin for them.
yeah.
Too much.
So it's like, yeah, I totally believe that it could be, right? As long as there's money being printed and people willing to purchase Bitcoin with that money, it could be. And Bitcoin is fractional, so you can buy 0.0000000000000001.
can you buy infinitely small
No.
numbers?
It's like 10 to the negative 12th or 10 to the negative 8th or something. And for like $1, right? So eventually the cost of one Bitcoin can be
So
$1 million, yeah.
So bad, yeah.
So it's possible, right?
Good currency in here.
Yeah.
I do think that cryptocurrency will be the future currencies.
Yeah.
But like, it's gotta
I mean, to be honest, like I think this is a pretty good signal, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have somebody sitting here that's relatively young, I'm still really young, and understands it, is interested in it, trades it, and uses it as their own currency.
That's also the weird thing about San Francisco is just the leg up you get just by being born in a certain area of the world that's, you know, fairly
Yeah.
small is
Certainly.
ridiculous. Even if you in other major US cities, I don't have a sense that it's the same kind of things.
Yeah.
Where the youth are getting into stuff.
What's also interesting, this brings me back to this like social demographics thing versus like innovation. There's a graph that shows inventors per capita, right? Depending on how wealthy the family is, how many inventors are typically graduated from those families. So the more rich the family is, the more wealthy the family is, the more likely those children are able to explore and be creative and create something new. But I also wonder if that's also geographic, if there's a geographic parameter component, right? Because you tend to see wealth kind of aggregate in particular areas, and education and materials and things also coalesce, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. But yeah, still working on that AI overlord. What do you think is going to happen after 21 million Bitcoin? What do you want to happen?
Well, after 21 million Bitcoin, I don't think Bitcoin's gonna, I think Bitcoin might get obsolete someday. I think there might be a better code, but I think hypothetically if Bitcoin were to stay around and there were 21 million Bitcoin mined, I guess it would still be used as a currency, but it just wouldn't be mineable anymore. Would that be right?
Yeah.
By the way, when I think if there is an AI overlord that someday is gonna kill all humans and take over the world, and then after it does that, it's gonna watch every video ever made by humans.
Yeah, this YouTube video.
Hi AI overlord. You seem cool. Please don't kill me. You could leave me and keep me in your robot museum.
Fuck that.
No. Okay, would you be in a robot museum? People at home, if this is your choice, either
You can
be
kill him.
extinguished with the rest of
I'll take you on. Let's do this.
be extinguished with the rest of humanity, or survive in some kind of robot zoo, right?
Would the robot zoo be fun? Who says the robots can't make a good time?
Well, when we learn to talk to polar bears, we can ask them, what.
Yeah, what they really think about the zoo.
You gotta helipad.
Yeah.
There'll be a great equalizer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we've done a lot of bad things in the world.
As soon as we're able to communicate, it's just like, ooh, oh no,
Oh no.
oh no.
You killed my brother!
Yeah. Oh no, what is he doing? Yeah, cool.
Greenpeace is gonna go crazy because of they're gonna be like, okay, we have an interview with the owl.
Right.
What do you think about the pillaging? I don't know.
And I'll be like, who?
It'll be like
Me?
It'll be like food.
Yeah. It'll be like Bitcoin. Sorry, I should
Good
go back to
lord.
that. Cool. So anything anyone else wants to cover? I think we're Probably winding down for time right now.
I think we're good. Yeah.
We're good. Okay, well, so we'll do outros where we can plug things, we can plug events, we can plug what we're working on. We're gonna give out social contacts if you want to follow us or learn more about our projects. We're gonna do that now. Do you want to say anything off camera? No. Okay, good. It's not even a person. It's literally a Google Home sitting over here. We'll go this way so we can end here. So.
Well, if you have any 1070 Ti's laying around, you want to give them to me for a good price, my email is emergedbirch@gmail.com. So, I don't know. And, so send me that. And then I also have my eBay, still selling my CPU. Some person bought it, and then they were like, oh, cancel the order. And then they were like, don't cancel it. I was like, what? That's
What's your name on eBay?
emergedbirch_4.
I love how that there were 3, possibly 4 others before you.
Right? Like you and the other people.
Okay.
That's it. Bye, BitConnect.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hi.
You're so funny.
My name is Catherine. I'll be hosting the Decentralized AI Summit on February 4th. That's a Thursday, and it starts at 8:30 p.m. We'd love to have you. You can email me at decentralizedai@gmail.com, or you can just visit the website and buy a ticket. It's decentralized-ai.com. So, come join us. There's going to be a lot of cool people out there, and you can meet them face to face. The t-shirts are sick.
Yeah.
I can link you to a picture.
Sick, bruh.
We only have a few t-shirts, so it's really like first come, first serve on those. I would encourage you to get there early. Anyway, thank you for joining us today.
No, they're actually
No, they're
Decentralized AI Summit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're special shirts.
Okay, well, not better. I'm just like, they're cool. Sorry, I said better, and I meant like they're really cool. Like.
Never forgive you.
Oh no.
Is that it? Do you have anything else?
That's all I have to say.
Alright, and as usual, I'm Dan Gailey. You can find me on Twitter at @DPG. You can email me, Dan@synapse.ai. I'm the CEO and founder of Synapse.ai. We're working on decentralized artificial intelligence. So if you want to know what that means, you can visit the site and check out our white paper and yellow paper. You can also visit our Telegram at t.me/synapseico. And we have a second Kira ICO coming up on February 5th. We have a lot of media coming out about that, and we have a few airdrops to announce. So if you're at home and you want to get your hands on some of that sweet, sweet Syn token, check that out. Sign up for our newsletter, join our Telegram group, follow us on Twitter. We're AI Synapse on Twitter. I'd like to also plug the Decentralized AI Summit. I'm going to be speaking, so you'll want to be out there early for that one. And what else? Crypto Builders Meetup every second and fourth Wednesday here at Noisebridge. If you're interested in Ethereum development or blockchain development, and it's kind of an open forum where anyone can come, talk about their project, talk about what they're working on, look for a co-founder, come on out. We'd love to have you. And also there's free pizza. Yeah, love it. So besides that, we also do hack days every Sunday. So if you have a project, AI, ML, bots, whatever your interest is, then come on out if you're in the Bay Area or visit us online. And I think that's it.
That's all.
Yeah, so as usual, be excellent to each other and hack the planet.